Hello, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on from where are you listening to us or when you will be listening to the recorded podcast. I would like to welcome you to the next meetup from the TevWeb Meetup series. This one about the personal brand of the programmer, presented by Krzysztof Kępiński. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and hopefully we will be able to answer them at the end of the meetup. So, Krzysztof, over to you.
Hello, hi everybody. Thank you for invitation. Thanks for having me. I really encourage you to write any questions you have. We will have some time at the end of the presentation, at the end of the talk, to address these questions. Just ask. Today's presentation, today's talk is, let's say, not that technical, but is about sort of a tool, I would say. Because, in my understanding and how I see it, how I define it, personal brand is a tool. It's a tool because it's not like an ultimate goal. I won't tell you that everybody should actually work consciously on their personal brand. This is not like an ultimate goal for all of us, but personal brand used in some situations in a certain, let's say, moment in your career can make a lot good things. I mean, based on my career, based on my history, I can definitely say that if you are or if you have personal brand, I will explain what is the difference in a minute. You can have more options that you can even imagine in developing your career, in earning more money, in meeting more people, in being more influential. So in my opinion, personal brand is a great tool, and even in IT, even if you are a programmer, still personal brand can be very beneficial. Today, I will be talking about what personal brand actually is, because I see a lot of misunderstanding in the industry. I will tell you how to approach like a process of creating a personal brand, what kind of mistakes to avoid, and also I'll give you some good examples, people who you can definitely follow or you can learn from. Cool. All right. So, my name is Krzysztof Kępiński. I am in IT since 2005, so it's almost 20 years. And I think in our industry, in IT, we are well privileged because we can steer, we can create our career path as we want. Basically, it's not that obvious in other industries. So basically, most of my career, I'm a programmer. I do backend of web applications, but from time to time, I change it to work more with people. So from time to time, I switch my career towards being a team leader, to be a CTO. And after some time, when I'm tired working with people, I am getting back to focus to be focused on more technical topics. So in my career, I was working as CTO. I was working as a programmer. I had my own software house for a couple of years. So still, I think it was very beneficial to my career to work not in a very narrow like specialization, but rather try to touch different areas. And based on my experiences, based on a lot of people that I met, I decided to start a podcast. It was like 7 years ago. It's in Polish, but still you can check the podcast. It's called Let's Talk About IT. So porozmawiajmy o IT in Polish. I have like almost 250 episodes, and to me this is like one of my main tools to build my personal brand. Yeah. So I'm really curious if you already started building your personal brand. I mean, but consciously building your personal brand. So if you like, please write in the comments if you do it, if you think about starting actually doing it, or maybe in your opinion, and believe me, you won't be alone. Maybe in your opinion, personal brand is not something for technical people because they should be focused mostly on technical things. I'm really curious because usually when I have this kind of talks, yeah, there is a group of people that is in the process of building personal brand, and people would like to start working on their personal brand, and always there is a group of people who thinks that, well, personal brand is not for IT. So yeah. Some time ago, I created kind of a poll, kind of a survey in my social media channels, and I asked, well, basically people working in IT. I asked if they think that while working in IT, it's worth actually building personal brand. I was really curious, and I expected that most of them will tell me that it really doesn't make sense. It's not that important. But believe me, it was like over 90% of people answered that yes, personal brand in IT makes sense. So to me, it was not that obvious, but I was really positively surprised. But when I started asking these people actually how they see personal brand, what actually it means for them, it turned out that there's a lot of misconception, misunderstanding what actually personal brand is. So I would like to start with defining what personal brand is, because it's important for that talk to have this baseline. So the shortest definition, maybe you saw it somewhere, the shortest definition was created by Jeff Bezos. And basically, he said that your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. The definition is very short, but it contains two very important aspects, two very important things that you cannot skip when you start working on your personal brand. The first thing is people. And yeah, I know a lot of us probably started their career in IT to not work with people. There is this funny joke about it, but that's how it is. If you want to build your personal brand, you have to interact with people, you have to influence people, you have to communicate with people. I think that's the most important that's the most important factor in building a personal brand, and it's in the definition. The second thing that comes from the definition is that these people know something about us, right? They are talking about us. They have some memories. They know something about us. Maybe they had some interactions with us, and that's the second thing that is crucial for building an IT. So basically, we say that we communicate our brand. That means that we expose what we want to, right? We want to be known because we are an expert in Java, in other technologies, doesn't matter. That it means that we communicate our personal brand, and by doing this, we consciously influence other people. So we basically communicate, and by this communication, we want to have this strong picture in minds of others that we know something, that we have some experience about something. So we will be known because of our knowledge, our experience. This is a very short definition, but it contains two like most important things in building personal brand. But if we would like to go further, we can say that personal brand is probably much more. It's not only what people know about us, but it's also like a combination of impressions, associations, feelings, opinions, emotions about us. So it's not only like a very, very raw knowledge, it's also about emotions, right? So probably you saw some ads in TV, on YouTube, or whatever, and there is always that factor of emotions in communication from usual product brands. But when we talk about building a personal brand, there is not that much difference between creating a product brand versus creating personal brand. Because in building a personal brand, we have to remember that there are three essential things. So first is that message that we send. Because we work in IT, because currently the world looks like it looks like. It's easy to communicate through internet, right? Through social media, YouTube, blog, podcast, whatever. But it's not only this. We can communicate using personal interactions. That's also possible. Maybe that's not that efficient, but still possible. And in doing this communication, we send some kind of message. We have to think what to communicate, because by sending this message, we build our picture of ourselves in others' minds. And it's usually it's important to have some like colors, logo, font, something that actually reminds others about us. It's the same thing like with like with product brands, right? There's some logo, some emotions, some colors that if you see, you immediately remind yourself that, well, this is that brand. But what is probably the most important is consistency, right? It's not like you, I don't know, create one blog post, you create one podcast or one YouTube. You have to be consistent. And only in being consistent, you build very strong picture of yourself. And basically, yes, you can say that when you stop doing it, probably it will take some time until some others like will forget about you. But usually building a personal brand is like a continuum, right? You have to do it all the time. And now you can ask, well, okay, I'm a programmer, I work in IT. That looks promising, what you said, but actually, what does a programmer need a personal brand for? And there is a lot of reasons actually why it's worth doing it. So better job offers is the most obvious ones. So now we have not that good situation in IT as we used to have, like, for example, 2 or 3 years ago, right? But even back then, the most valuable, the most interesting job offers were sent to people who had strong personal brand, because strong personal brand is like some kind of proof, right? If you have personal brand, you can easily skip a lot of phases in hiring process. So for hiring managers, for recruiters, if they know that somebody is strong personal brand, for them sending job offer in firstly to them is the most obvious thing. Second reason is, if you want to get rise, it's good to be recognizable. It's good to have a strong personal brand. I'll be talking about it a little more in a couple of minutes. But for your company, if you are a strong programmer, strong personal brand, you not only add value by programming, by doing code, but also by representing the company outside, by creating, by improving employer branding, by maybe even finding clients, basically. So there's a lot of value that you bring to the company if you are a strong personal brand, and this could be very good reason for you to go and ask for rise. I mean, like, except of doing code, except of programming, I also hire people to different projects, to different companies. And to me, always somebody, if there is a candidate who does something towards building personal brand, always that person gets more points. And why is it? Because if you start, for example, a blog, right? If you want to create like a technical article, usually it means that you have to structure your knowledge. You have to maybe read about something that you don't know yet. You have to do some small coding snippets. So to me, that's a very strong proof of hard skills. But if you start actually building your personal brand, you know that you cannot just create content and forget, and maybe your personal brand will start go up, but you have to do something. You have to put some work in basically telling that you do something, right? For example, in your social media channels, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say that you cannot forget about telling about your content. And actually, you can ask, what is it? This is building your soft skills. This is like improving your communication skills, presentation skills. So to me, somebody who is doing something in a very personal brand topic, that person has a strong proof of their hard and soft skills. What else? If you are a strong strong personal brand in IT, you have impact on your team, impact on your company, impact on the IT industry in your city, whatever, right? I mean, the scope of that impact can be different, but still that impact happens. And if you have a stronger impact, you are more influential. Somebody sometimes is important. For example, in, I don't know, let's take your project, right? If you have that impact, you can influence technical decisions. You can influence how you do things, right? So if you want to have that impact, if you want to influence people, personal brand is a way to do it. And something that is also very nice, although we don't want to say that we actually want this is recognition. So, for example, I was invited here. I was invited to say a couple of words here, right? And this is a very good proof that um, while working on my personal brand, I had some recognition within the Polish IT industry, right? And it's very nice. I mean, I like it. I feel better because I have this kind of invitation. So if you want to be asked for some comments, to make a talk or something like that, then yeah, personal brand is also a way to go. But also if you want to have like another source of income, for example, by doing online courses, right? If you create an online course but you don't have personal brand, then obviously your income from that source will be much lower than if you have some community around you, if you are recognizable as a strong personal brand. And a lot of us actually in IT industry work based on contract way of work. So from time to time, we have to find another client, and being having a strong personal brand actually allows us to make it kind of reverted, right? It's others actually who ask us for doing some contract, not from the other side. So as you can see, there's a lot of benefits of starting your personal brand, and the question is actually where to start. When usually I ask this question, you know what I hear? Start with blog. And well, that makes sense. I mean, blog as a way of communicating personal brand, it's very nice, very very good way to do it, because it allows us to present pieces of code, some diagrams, explain how we approach different problems. It's fine, but actually that's not the best answer to that question. The most important thing where you have to start is answer your why question. So why do you want to build your personal brand? Maybe you want to get a rise, maybe you want to be more recognizable, maybe you have to be more influential, maybe you want to earn through doing some online courses. Doesn't matter, but you really have to specify, you really have to maybe even write down on a piece of paper why you want to do it. Because if you skip that part, then really, believe me, you will probably pause or skip or even finish your personal brand building, because you won't know actually why are you doing it. In my case, I started building my personal brand because I wanted to be a speaker, right, on the conference, on a ID conference. And when I achieved that, I changed my why to create online courses. So what is important? You can change your why. That's totally fine. But when you do it, please write it down and always have it in front of you. Once you know why you do it, why you want to do it, you have to answer second question: who should know about you? You remember the definition that I explained in the beginning? So there is a big difference between being a personal brand and being a celebrity, being an influencer, right? For this second group, they want to be influential. They want to reach as many people as possible. But personal brand is something different. You want to address your message. You want to be recognizable within or for very well defined group. For example, if you are a Java developer, maybe you want to create your message towards Java developers in your company, or backend developers, for example, in your city. Doesn't matter, but it's very important that you define that group, because if you once again skip that part, you won't know where these people are or what kind of language they use. So your attempts to create personal brand will be much harder to do. So if you know why you want to do it and who should know about you, you should think, what do you want to communicate to them? Usually it's the easiest question to answer, because we have usually we start building personal brand when we have some experience. So we are, well, let's say, experts in some programming language, frameworks, or technologies. So it's easiest for us to actually start building personal brand within that specialization. But from time to time, it's not that easy to answer these questions. So then you can use SWOT analysis. So you basically answer a couple of questions like, where are your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And then you know what are your strengths and what are the opportunities on the market. For example, you are an experienced Java developer, and nobody in your country, for example, have a podcast for experienced developers. Yeah, maybe that's a good like niche to build your personal brand. You can also ask others how they see it, how they see your strengths, how you help them, because that's very important to know, because this will allow you to start building your personal brand with your strengths, with things that you already do best. And it's very important to check your competition, not to like copy them, but to see what is the level, right? Or maybe what are the where are the opportunities? As I said in the example in a minute. For example, nobody is, I don't know, like nobody's writing about some more advanced topics in your programming language. Maybe that's a good spot to start building your career in. Okay, so if you already know all of this, so why you want to do it, who should know about you, and what to communicate, then yeah, it's very important to accept yourself. I know how it looks like, but very important factor or aspect of personal brand is some unique proposition, right? So for example, if you, I don't know, take any product brand, like for example toothpaste, and then you have different colors, different packages, different forms, and different tastes, right? And the same applies to personal brand. It's very important to find something that is unique for you, and usually we are all unique, so there is no easier way to find this unique thing, and like, as you know, just accepting yourself and not trying to create somebody. So creating or working or personal brand usually takes time, like months, maybe even years. So if you would like to create somebody who is not you, it will be very hard to play that role through months or years. Yeah. And now, once we know all of it, we can start thinking how we want to communicate our brand, what kind of channels, what kind of media we would like to use to communicate to others what we know, how we want to help them, what kind of experience we have. So the easiest way is use GitHub and open source. It's very easy because it plays two roles, I would say. First, this is definitely our portfolio, right? So recruiters these days usually check GitHub profiles. So it's important to, put your picture, put your information about you, your details, pin your best repos, clean up a bit. Yeah, don't leave mess there. That's also important aspect of building your personal brand. But the other thing, or the other way, is to be active within open source projects that you care about, basically. And if you even initially, for example, just comment things, maybe add some small additions, after some time you will be recognizable within people working on this project as somebody who have something to say, as somebody who has some knowledge, some experience, who wants to help with that project. And this is building your personal brand amongst people who actually also care about this piece of technology. So you don't have to start with blog, podcast, YouTube channel. You can start with open source project by commenting, by adding some value there, and after some time you will be recognizable within this group of people. I think that's the easiest way how you can start with your personal brand. Same applies to Stack Overflow. You also show your expertness there, right? But on the other hand, you also build your profile, so don't forget about it. And after some time, your personal brand will be more recognizable, and usually you gonna be active within or with questions that you have some knowledge about, you some experience connected with it. So also maybe not that obvious, but Stack Overflow is also a way how you can start building your personal brand. I think the most obvious way how to build your personal brand in IT is blog, right? Usually it's very useful. It applies to a technical content because you can put some graphs, diagrams, snippets, etc., etc. It's very easy to explain some technical things using blog posts. But if you start doing it and you want to build your personal brand with blog, don't forget that you have to keep some logic or some structure there. You should not like mix different topics. Usually you have some hobbies, maybe some I don't know, like personal things, and you shouldn't like mix these two things, because, for example, let's imagine that one day one of your blog posts gonna bring a lot of people to your blog, and if you have this like blurry let's say mix of different things that won't build that picture of you as, for example, expert in given programming language, technology, whatever, right? So you know what I mean. um, uh, Usually what I see, especially amongst more experienced people, is that they have imposter syndrome, right? So they think that the knowledge that they have is so common, so obvious, that that everybody actually knows about it. Well, actually no, right? It's maybe not that obvious, not that easy, but explaining very basic, very simple things is also important, because there will be always somebody who is learning. So you should not avoid this type of content as well. Yeah, You don't have to start your own, blog. You don't have to buy domain, anything like that. You can start with Medium, Dev2, or other platforms, or even you can participate in your company's blog. And that's also a way to start to check if you feel okay with this type of creating content. LinkedIn, yeah, that's a very important thing. Once again, not only because this is your online CV or your portfolio, so you should care about your CV, so make it up to date, ask others for recommendations, describe your projects or other activities, but LinkedIn gives us very good opportunity to build personal brand through commenting posts of others. So if you do it, then you build that recognition amongst people who also comment under these posts. They will know you after some time. They will have some opinion about yourself. They will know that you have some experience and knowledge. The author of the post will also from time to time, I mean, after some time, at least know your name, and well, you can ask, what is it? This is basically building your personal brand. And if you start with LinkedIn, usually you don't have many followers, so your posts won't be very impactful. But if you start by commenting under posts of people who have big accounts, then probably your comment will be read by many more people than your initial original post. So this is also important thing. And in the beginning, I told you that that people actually are important to your personal brand. So through LinkedIn, you can build your community. You can build your network. You should not skip that. You can invite people to your network. You can accept others' invitations. That's also very important. Very common thing, or very common channel of building personal brand is through doing it through social media. There's plenty of them, basically. You should choose that social media channel by answering two questions: if there are people who should know about you, and if it's, let's say, quite easy for you to create content there. Because, for example, if you decide to create content on TikTok, but you are not that person who likes like dancing and doing funny things, maybe it won't create your personal brand how you want it, right? Or maybe you want to create a personal brand and address that brand to I don't know, high management, for example, right? So also I don't know, like maybe we should then choose LinkedIn rather than X or something like that. So yeah, you should find your social media channel by answering these two questions. Other way of building your personal brand in IT is being a speaker. You should start slowly. So gather some experience through doing in company speeches, talks, presentations. Then you can do this kind of meetups, and then maybe bigger conferences. People are afraid of it, but from my experience, usually there is not that many people who would like to share their experience through conferences. So it's not that hard to actually to be approved and share your knowledge there. Yes, obviously stress is always there, but once you do it, I mean, if you do it more frequently, then it's definitely lower. You can also build your personal brand through articles and books, but what is important, you cannot just write one book and forget, or actually have some like expectations that you will build your personal brand through one time thing. Usually it's a very good way if you do other activities. For example, you post something, you have your blog, and you write some like technical book, for example. That works pretty nice. Some maybe not that frequent, but quite powerful thing, or quite powerful way of building personal brand is to do it through YouTube, to do it through podcast. You can start how I started. So you can like invite people, do interviews, ask them some questions, and yeah, usually it works pretty nice. Usually when I do this kind of talks, I get a couple of very common questions, and one of this question is, does personal brand works for people who work on like full-time, who have full-time job, right? And to me, a company should be interested in like hiring people with strong personal brand, because as I told you in the beginning, these people bring not only very technical skills, but also are able to represent company outside, doing this kind of talks during conferences, improving employer branding, and many other things. So yeah, companies should be interested. But how you should actually start it, because people are also afraid that, well, okay, my employer won't be that happy if I start, for example, my YouTube channel or something like that, because maybe he will think that I will lose my focus, or maybe I will change my job or something like that. So obviously there are some risks that you have to be aware of, and you should, for example, maybe talk to your manager to be fully transparent about that. So the risks I'm talking about is that, for example, you have some interesting like solutions that you found or created during your work, and you would like to share this knowledge in your blog post, right? So you have to be aware that you cannot do it directly, right? You cannot use you can't use the code base that you created, for example, right? You maybe you have to think about some layer of security. But you have to be aware that building personal brand is not only being like active in social media during conferences or something like that. You can build your personal brand within or inside your company, right? And usually it's much easier, and it takes less time actually to build your personal brand within your company. And I would advise actually to start from it. And the same applies to creating your personal brand as a junior. So I would say that it's the same like with financial investments. The sooner you start, the better, right? It gives you a lot of advantages in the job market, especially these days. You practice your soft skills because you train, you practice communication, presentation, or something like that. That will be very beneficial for your future roles. And what to communicate, right? I mean, you just started in IT. Maybe you have your first job, and what do you want to? What would you like to communicate? Well, usually you can like document your learning process, or you can write about simple things. Maybe it won't be important for seniors, but for example, for somebody who just started learning, your way of explaining things might be might be much easier to understand how something works. You have to be aware of the Dunning-Kruger effect. So when you start something new, when you start learning some new domain, usually you think that after short time you know almost everything, but shortly you see that there is plenty of new things to learn. And once again, finding some help during building personal brand is important. If your company can somehow help you with it, it's amazing, because working on personal brand takes time. So if your employer branding team, communication team can help you with it, then it saves you a lot of time. So by sharing your knowledge, you show your expertise, but keep in mind that you should start with just one communication channel. And if you feel quite comfortable with it, then you can add another. And what is probably the most important is to be the consequence is the most important thing, because building a personal brand is not a sprint, is a marathon. So it takes time, months, years, it depends. But you have to be prepared, and you have to be aware of this thing. Sorry. So let's maybe check a couple of mistakes that I usually see that people make while they work on their personal brand. First, the most important is a lack of authenticity. So they want to be like somebody else from the industry, and that's very problematic, because, as I said, it will take months, maybe years, to build your personal brand. If you want to act as somebody else, it will be very, very hard for you. If you don't define that group of people who should know about you, it will also bite you, because you don't know where they are, you don't know what kind of language they use. It will be very hard to send your message to them. If you are not consequent, if you just forget about that important thing, you do something that I call weak communication. So for example, you go to the conference, you are kind of inspired, you create 3 blog posts, and then for year or two you forget about creating other content. That won't work, basically. So copying of others is also not very good pattern. I mean, initially, yes, it's okay to copy things that work, basically, but after some time you have to find something unique for you, and this is important. Usually people think that month or two maybe is enough to build personal brand. Usually, well, when they want to, for example, create an online course, they want to share their knowledge, and they heard that when you have that community around you, it will improve the result of the course, and they start building a personal brand with that assumption that month or two is enough. Absolutely, it's not. I gathered a couple of names here from Poland. I hope it's okay. These are people who, in my understanding and how I see it, build very personal brands in a very good way. I would recommend checking how they do it, how they communicate, what they do. I think that's a very good example of people to follow, and very good example of inspirations. And to me, personal brand is a very important topic. That important that I decided to write a book about it. Sorry, it's in Polish as well, but I think at least for some of them it's fine. The book is called Marka Osobista Branża IT, so personal brand in IT industry. So if you would like, you can buy it and learn more about that topic. Nice. I hope you have some questions. I'm here to answer you. So to answer them. So yeah. Let's try.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Krzysztof, very much for the presentation. And I don't see any questions from the audience. So I have one question from you. So how long, or what was the moment that you thought like, okay, I started building this brand, and then you started, okay, it is this. Right now I start to feel comfortable with it. I know how to grow it. Like, how long did it take for you personally, or was there any defining moment about it, or was like just gradual that from like, oh, I'm starting, oh, okay, I right now feel it's going good way.
Yeah, I didn't want to afraid you, but it was like after probably 3 years or something like that. Yeah, I think it was after I decided to do it literally with calendar, right? So to just like book some time, like every week to do something with my personal brand. So not like from time to time or something like that, or when I have inspiration or time or whatever, but I put this as a piece of work for me that is repeatedly done every week. And after that time, I noticed that, I mean, whatever you want to measure, like number of your followers, number of podcast views, whatever, right? I mean, doesn't matter what kind of measure you will take, but after you start doing things regularly, you will see increase in your measures for sure.
Okay, so it turns out that again and again the consistency is the key here,
Absolutely.
the key component. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation, and we'd like to
Thank
also
you.
invite our viewers to the next meetups that we'll have, and also feel free to check out the other ones. And goodbye, and have a nice day. Thank you, Krzysztof, once again.
Thank you. Bye bye.